episode 24 of the Belleville Sens podcast on the Belleville Sens Entertainment Network, along with Joel Vanderlaan. David Foote here again as always, and thank you for tuning in for another week as we continue on through this 2023 offseason, getting set for the 23-24 regular season, which again begins for the Belleville Senators on October the 14th in Hershey, Pennsylvania against the Bears. The Sens will play in Lehigh Valley the following night and back here for the home opener presented by CAA on October 21st. Why am I reminding you that the schedule is coming up soon? Well, because you can buy tickets for the full season or a flex pack right now. You can get group deposits down as well. And hint, hint, we're less than, let's say, 4 weeks out from single season seats going on sale. Lots more on that to come in the weeks ahead. To come on the show this week, we'll be joined by Sens defenseman Jacob Larsson, coming off a career year. We'll have the new team services coordinator for the Belleville Sens, Dan Ciparis, and he'll be our guest on Get to Know Your FO. And Joel Vanderlaan, if I'm not mistaken, I think Dan is... Oh, I'm mistaken. Dan is not the last one. I was going to say, I thought he's the last one, but Ben, another Ben, is starting today, actually, on a part-time basis. So still one more to go before we've done the whole roster on Get to Know Your FO.
Yeah, well, it's keeping us busy in the booth for sure. So, no, but it's great to see the office getting full and a lot of new friendly faces each morning when you come into work. And I think everyone, like you mentioned, is just excited to get to the season now. I think the off-season's kind of been dragging lately. It's the ice has been put back in the rinks across the way at the Quinney Sports and Wellness Center, and soon the ice is going to be back in here at CA Arena, and then it's going to be the itch is going to be getting you, David. So,
yeah.
No, it's exciting times in Belleville Senators land for sure.
You mentioned the ice going back in soon. Along with that, you may hear a little bit of added background noise throughout the course of the show today because they're starting, or continuing, I should say, work around CAA Arena. It's going to look fairly different for those fans who are frequenters of the building. New fans obviously won't notice, but it'll look really nice for them as well. A lot of facade improvements, we'll say. Some new signage going up, some new pictures and advertisements around the rink. It's going to look a little bit different for sure. And with that, a lot of new offerings as well. And again, you'll have to stay tuned to the Sens social media at Belleville Sens when we start to announce some details of that. But like you say, Joel, it's exciting times, and everybo's getting ready for the season. And I think, I don't want to speak on behalf of the group necessarily, but it feels like from the office side of things, we're more steady, I think, and ready for the coming season than we have been in the last couple of years, mainly because we're back to full strength again. And it seems like there's a little bit of a different feeling around our office and the staff downstairs that are around as well.
Yeah, and I think for me, I came in part-time last year and became a full-time employee around this time last summer. And I know from just my perspective and in my role, I'm certainly more equipped, more time in the office, more chances to get ready. And I think, like you mentioned, I think a lot of people in the office are feeling that, and a lot more supports, a lot more people with their hands in things, getting things done. So I think when we hit the ground running here in October, it's going to be a great start. I know everyone's got their plans ready to go, and you mentioned in a couple weeks single game tickets are going on sale. So I think as we keep moving towards the target date and these targets that we're putting forth, I think the excitement level builds, and I think we're hitting these targets with great care. We're taking good care of everything in there, and making sure that the fans are coming back to a good spot here at CAA Arena.
Yeah, lots to look forward to. We'll have a little bit more office talk coming up later in the show with Sens Team Services Coordinator Dan Ciparis, only the second Team Services Coordinator in team history, following Ben Goodman, who is now out with the Abbotsford Canucks out in the Western Conference. Our prime guest, not to take anything away from our pal Dan, or Tiger, as we call him, Our prime guest today is our player guest is Jacob Larsson, the defenseman, re-signing for another year after, I would say, a pretty successful debut season in Sens land following, 5 years or so out in San Diego. We're going to talk to him about that, the difference between San Diego and Belleville, and you might be surprised to hear which one he seems to like better. But it just an excellent addition to the blue line, and somebody who was obviously high up on the target list for David Bell and Ryan Bowness, because they locked Lars up real quick.
Yeah, they did, and I think his second half of the season, especially after David Bell took over, he really started to shine and get his game going, get some consistency back, and he mentioned that in the interview as well. And anytime you can get a defenseman with the experience he has, the NHL experience, the AHL experience, he's played for Team Sweden all through his career at the World Juniors, Ivan Halinka, all these prestigious tournaments. So I think for them, like you mentioned, it's kind of a no-brainer to bring him back. And he's going to be healthy. He's stayed relatively healthy throughout his career. And I think when you look at Jacob Larsson, I think the thing that Ryan Bowness and David Bell really liked is, like we mentioned, just how steady of a presence he can be for these young defensemen. You got Max Canet, you're hoping is going to take another major step. Donovan Sparango's coming in here as well, and obviously these guys are going to have shots to make the NHL club as well. But when you look at a guy like Dylan Hetherington, Jacob Larsson, these guys are great resources for them, not only on the ice, off the ice. They've lived in these professional settings. We talk about Jacob Larsson. He's been playing pro since he was 18 years old in Sweden. So nothing phases him. He's played all over the place, and I think he's just a great resource for this team. He's a great human being, as you'll see in the interview as well. And I think, as we've kind of said throughout it, it was kind of a no-brainer when you peel back the layers, so to speak, on a guy like Jacob Larsson.
Yeah, hundreds and hundreds of games at the professional level. A veteran player by the number of games played at just 26 years old. And you can't argue with that and the longevity. And like you said, he's managed to stay healthy. And, of course, we hope that's the case again this season as well. A guy who, despite bouncing between the NHL and the AHL, and despite being a 27th overall pick in the 2015 NHL draft, has not seemed to be overly fazed by how difficult the journey to stick in the NHL has been. He doesn't let that show when he's around the rink. He's just, as you'll hear in the interview, happy to be part of the team, happy to help these other players reach their potential as well. And when you talk about building a successful AHL team, check the boxes. It's the perfect player. Yeah,
and I think that's another thing David Bell always says, control the controllables, right? And I think Jacob Larsson's a prime example of that, and that's a guy you want in the locker room, right? He's not going to pout if he's down in the American Hockey League. He knows if he plays well here, he does the right things. He's helping the rookies to improve as well. He's going to get his NHL recalls like he did this year. He played in 7 games with the big club. So I think that's just speaks to his character. He loves to play the game of hockey, and I think that's a big thing.
Also, just celebrating his wedding. He and his wife Natalie got married about a week or so ago, and we'll talk about that with Sens defenseman Jacob Larsson when we come back in just a moment. It's episode 24 of the Belleville Sens podcast on the Belleville Sens Entertainment Network.
Secure your season ticket membership for the upcoming season. The Belleville Senators guaranteed dates for the 2023-24 season are set. Want to guarantee a spot at one of these games? Season seat memberships are on sale now with summer giveaways. Purchase by September 1st and be entered in to win a prize pack. To learn more about purchasing season's tickets, visit their website at BellevilleSens.com or email them tickets@BellevilleSens.com. Guarantee your spot to see the Sens.
Back on episode number 24 of the Belleville Sens podcast. David Foote, Joel Vanderlaan here as we continue on, getting into the middle of August, which means training camp is around the corner. Guys are starting to prepare to come back, but it also is wedding season, it seems, around the world of hockey, and our next guest is just finishing up the honeymoon stage, I guess, of his wedding. Jacob Larsson, Sens defenseman, is with us on the show, and first of all, congratulations to you and Natalie. Jacob, how was the festivities?
It was a lot of fun. I mean, getting married, hopefully you only do it once, and no, it was awesome. Everybody had a lot of fun. There was a lot of love in there, of course. So, yeah, we really had a good time, and everyone else really enjoyed it too. So, it was a fun weekend, that's for sure.
Yeah, a chance to get some old teammates around and family and friends, of course, as well.
Oh yeah, so we were like 80 guests, I think. So it was pretty small, nothing crazy, but. Yeah, a few old teammates and a lot of friends from here back home. Yeah, so it was a good mix. It was a lot of people, like all the people we care about and love. And yeah, so it was a really good time.
What are Swedish weddings like? Are there any like traditions or anything like that they don't do over here, or are they pretty standard?
I mean, there's probably a few things we do. Maybe I don't know that much about weddings, to be honest.
Enough.
Like, yeah. But one thing we have over here that you guys don't have, I think, is so whenever the bride she goes to the bathroom, all the other girls at the wedding have a chance to give me a kiss, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then if it's the other way around, if the man goes to the bathroom, all the guys at the wedding have the chance to give the bride a kiss.
Okay.
So that's one thing.
Does anything happen if you get caught? Like if you come out of the bathroom and someone's smooching your wife, you get to, I don't know.
Yeah, no, nothing like that.
Yeah.
It's just tradition here in Sweden. Yeah, but then other than that, I think it's pretty similar or like same as over in Canada. So yeah, I'll say it's pretty similar. Just that thing, I think.
It looked like an outstanding party, and congrats again. We're chatting with Jacob Larsson, Sens defenseman, back for another season. And when we chatted last, it was at exit interviews, and obviously at that time you hadn't re-signed. What was the process like to get a deal done? It seemed to happen pretty quickly, and what is it about the Senators that made that such an easy choice for you?
Both me and my wife, we really liked it in Belleville and in Ottawa, and the organization just overall is super good, and they're really taking care of all the players and great fans as well. Yeah, I mean, Belleville, it's kind of calm, like I've played in San Diego before, where it's like pretty crowded and yeah, all of that, and like Belleville is like a little bit smaller, but it's nice. It's like kind of like a family. It feels like it's more. So I'm from like a really small town here in Sweden, and that's kind of the same feeling when we're in Belleville you get. So no, we really enjoyed it, and we wanted to come back. And yeah, we're super excited, of course, to get it going here soon. And yeah, hopefully we get a better result this year than last year. It was kind of a disappointment, but yeah, I think we have a good chance this year to bounce back.
You talk about the highlight of your summer, obviously your wedding. How nice is it to return to Sweden and get to see your family members and get kind of immersed back in the culture that you grew up in?
No, I mean, that means a lot. And like I said, like you're just home over the summer, and you don't see your family or friends, Swedish friends, for the whole winter. So that means a lot, coming home and meet them and create new memories with them that you can have with you the whole year. So no, it means a lot to see them. And yeah, have fun with them, and yeah.
Obviously, you reflect on your hockey journey quite a bit, I imagine. When you're back in Sweden, do you kind of go back to the days when you were playing for Frölunda, a historic organization? Can you kind of talk us through that? And I know you played for Roger Ronberg, a legendary coach in Sweden. Do you let yourself kind of go back to those days and reflect on those, especially in the summertime?
Yeah, for sure. Like a little bit, like you meet all those guys. There's still a lot of guys playing in Frölunda that I played with, and like you said, I had Roger as a coach, and I meet him now and then. So now you think about that, and I'm not too much around them. Like you see him at the golf course a couple of times and out in the city, but no, of course, like I had a awesome time here in Frölunda and Gothenburg, and yeah, they're starting their season right now. I think I have like exhibition games here in a couple of days, so they start a little bit earlier than us. But yeah, I meet him now and then, and I had a good time there when I played there.
What does your training regiment kind of look like? Who do you skate with back home, and what are kind of the areas of focus that you have throughout the summer?
We kind of spoil here in Gothenburg. There's a lot of hockey players that come from here and plays overseas. So right now we're like when we're on the ice, we're maybe 18 guys that go together and practices, and then the off ice workout in the gym. Me and Eric Brännström is training together, and a couple of more guys with our trainer. So we have a really good setup here, and right now, like starting to get closer to the season, I kind of want to like ramp up on the ice, right? So you're really ready when the camp starts. So yeah, a lot of focus on like details, a lot of like skill work and all of that, and get in shape, get the lungs going, and all of that. So yeah.
There's quite a bit of Swedish connections in the city of Belleville throughout the course of this franchise. Obviously in Ottawa, Daniel Alfredsson, Erik Karlsson, to name a few. Does that make it kind of easier when you were able to, before you came to Belleville and the Ottawa organization, to kind of talk to these guys? And I know you played with Philip Gustafsson of the World Juniors, and kind of get the lay of the land, so to speak, before you joined the organization.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Eric Brännström is like close friend of mine, so he really like told me about Belleville and Ottawa and all of that, and took care of me when I came over during the camp. And no, so I mean that makes it way easier when you know a little bit about the city and all of that, where to go to eat, and good spots to go look at. And so no, like he helped me a lot with that. And then when I came to that was the first time I met Alfredsson too, so that was pretty cool. He's huge over here, right? So yeah, that was cool to see him. Yeah.
Take a few more minutes here with Sens defenseman Jacob Larsson. You played a handful of games in the NHL with Ottawa last season. Obviously, that's always the goal for any player in this league. How much of a push were those games for you, and how badly are you hoping to get a call there again this season?
Obviously, it's like that's why you're over there. Like you want to try to be in NHL and try and make it play as good as possible to get that call up. And yeah, for me, like I said, I was lucky to get a few call ups and play a few games, and I mean that means a lot. So that's what you dream about when you were a kid and all of that. So hopefully this year we'll play a little bit more up there. We'll see. They have a really good roster up there, and yeah, I'm super excited about the challenge ahead. So yeah.
I was going to ask how much you've been kind of following the roster moves. Obviously, Ottawa's made some big ones, and Belleville has made some strong signings as well. Have you been keeping up with what's been happening around the club?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You look like every day and see what's going on. And like you said, like both Ottawa and us have been doing some good signings. So yeah, I'm super excited. I think we're gonna have a good team, and yeah, we're gonna go far too. So yeah, I'm super excited to come over and see all the guys and meet them.
You were obviously here last season, so part of the coaching transition. We've been asking guys kind of their thoughts on what difference that might make, just having David Bell being able to come in from day one of training camp and kind of really be able to put his stamp on things.
Yeah, I mean, with all that happened last year, I mean, it's hard for him to come in. Like he did a really good job though, and everybody loves him. But now from start, like he can really set his style of how he wants us to play and all of that, and really preach his game and all of that. So yeah, he did a fantastic job last year. Everybody loves him. He's a great coach, and yeah, I think now when he gets from day one, it's gonna be real good for the team. Yeah.
Last season, you set a new career high in goals and points, tied your career high in assists. What are kind of your goals? Have you set goals for the upcoming season yet, or are you waiting till a little bit closer to the start of the season?
No, I mean, obviously you want to do better than last year. So yeah, I'm not worried too much about points, but it's always fun to get a few goals. Fun to score, right? So yeah, hopefully keep doing that. Maybe set a new goal record. Who knows? For me. So yeah, but I'm just trying to be a reliable D-man back there and play my two-way game. So yeah, like I said, like super excited to get going here.
What does the rest of the summer look like for you? Won't be long now until you are back over here.
No, right now it's ice and ice every day basically, and we go to the gym every day. So now it started ramping up a little bit here. But yeah, trying to get in shape, right, and try to fix these small details in the game and all of that, and really be ready when the camp starts.
And lastly, you mentioned you've got your kind of spots that you like in town. Is there anywhere specific you're looking forward to getting back to?
Oh, I love the county on an island. I really love it there. We lived there last year, and it's peaceful, and the nature there is it's amazing, and love that. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff with Belleville too that I like. Good restaurants, and yeah, so I'm pumped getting back there.
And we're pumped to have you back, Jacob Larsson, Sens defenseman. We'll see you in a few weeks. Thanks for the time, man.
Thank you.
We will take a break. When we come back, the new team services coordinator for the Belleville Sens will join us. Dan Ciparis is the next guest on Get to Know Your FO as episode 24 of the Belleville Sens podcast continues.
Enjoy a night out at a Belleville Senators game with your group. The Belleville Senators home opener is set for October 21st, 2023. Group or premium ticket experiences are on sale now. If you purchase soon, you'll be entered to win a special group experience prize. To learn more about group and premium experiences, visit their website at bellevillesens.com or email them tickets@bellevillesens.com. Because there's nothing like seeing the Sens with your friends.
Continuing on episode 24 of the Belleville Sens podcast, thanks again to Jacob Larsson for his time over in Gothenburg, Sweden. Another congratulations. He's going to get more congratulations probably during this show than he got at his wedding last week. But we're really happy for him. Absolutely. And yeah, really looking forward to seeing Jacob back again in September, should he not manage to find himself a spot in Ottawa. Time now for our penultimate segment of the first round of Get to Know Your FO, Get to Know Your Front Office, and our guest this week is the second ever Team Services Coordinator in Belleville Senators history, Dan Ciparis, and I've ruined the whole bit now because I gave people your title. I'm supposed to ask you what your title is, so I've ruined that, and welcome.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
Yeah, no, it's great to have you. It's obviously been a little bit of a learning curve, I would imagine, for you. Not that you're completely unfamiliar with the job, but before we get into the job, tell us a bit about yourself, where you're from, and how you got here.
For sure. No, Dan Ciparis, as you mentioned, coordinator of team services here for the Belleville Sens, starting up this season here. Originally, I'm from Rodney, Ontario, a very small town, southwestern Ontario. Grew up on a farm. I have some experience in sports, working up in Ottawa with Ottawa Sports and Entertainment Group. Was fortunate enough to work there with the intern with the Ottawa Fury. It's a pro soccer team. Unfortunately, no longer around. And then also with the 67s OHL side. Did 2 internships with both teams, and then after graduation, I went and did a full-time job there. Worked in ticketing as a ticket operations coordinator, and the goal has always been to work on the team side in hockey too, specifically. And this has been a great fit in Belleville here. This is kind of the dream. So
yeah, absolutely. And we've been talking to everybody, obviously, about kind of the process and what it was like getting here. For you, it would have been substantially different than to say the interview process for, well, really anybody else in the office, given what your job entails, and that's basically making sure that the guys downstairs have everything they need to be successful and to put a winning product on the ice. It seems like a lot.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a little bit of everything, I guess you could say, right? It's a lot of kind of managing both sides, from both the business and the hockey side, and trying to, I guess from what I'd kind of frame it as, is kind of like making sure taking care of the small things off the ice that cannot try to impact the hockey side as much as possible, trying to clean up all that kind of stuff. But I guess also best point to is just a liaison between both sides of the organization here. So.
You attended the University of Waterloo. You were a statistician with the men's varsity hockey team. When did it kind of become attainable to you that you could get into a role like this? When did you kind of start to think, okay, this can be a career for myself?
For sure, yeah. Working at hockey's always been the goal for me, for even going back to high school. I think it was just working, trying to find the experience is the biggest thing, especially when you're in school. I think trying to get any kind of experience or any kind of thing under your belt is the most important. It was to me. That was just a volunteer role, working with the Warriors, and I was able to travel with that all throughout Ontario for 2 seasons about. But I would say in that time in Waterloo, I kind of figured at one point maybe thought I would try and go the route of maybe coaching, analytics, video, and then realized that wasn't what I was, I guess, passionate about, or that wasn't my goal. I still wanted to work in hockey, and kind of found then that the team services, operations, logistics side was a good fit for me. So
you've been in office now about 2 weeks. You were working remotely before that. What has kind of been your kind of welcome to Belleville moment, so to speak? Have you had anything like that in this first month or so?
I feel like this is everyone from what you guys have had on previously, the Welcome to Belleville moment is probably trying to find a place, I feel like.
Well, and for you, that journey doesn't stop once you're set. You got to help everybody else find somewhere to live.
Exactly. I guess just trying to get to know, I'm a small town guy. The town I grew up in, Rodney, is 900 people. So I feel very at home here. No, Belleville's, I think, 56,000 people or so.
Yeah, about that.
But I enjoy a small town. I've also worked in Toronto. I've known that, and I don't mind that, but I definitely think small town's a fit for me. I guess just getting to know everyone, getting to know the spots around town, talking to all the guys in the office, trying to figure out what's the thing to do around here, going golfing with you guys, just figuring all that kind of stuff out. So.
Yeah, going golfing. We were going to get to that. So a little inside baseball, I suppose. A bunch of us go out on Wednesday evenings to play 9 holes. Up at our partner course, Black Bear Ridge, and shout out to Kale and Ben and Jamie and Bill and the gang at Black Bear for all the work that they're doing. We brought Ben out with us last week, 2 weeks ago maybe. Ben, who's Ben? Dan. Sorry, I'm thinking ahead to next week's Get to Know Your FO. Dan came out with us, and before we played, we go, do you play much, Dan? No, I don't play much. Let me tell you, Dan, really, you haven't played golf before?
That was my first ever round.
I don't believe it. But Dan is just consistently hitting the ball 150 yards straight. It's all he needs to do, and you wouldn't know that you'd never played before. It's putting pressure on us, man. I'll tell you that much.
Sounds like another guy we know in the office, Evan Jeffrey, kind of played the same card when he first arrived too.
Yeah. Well, Evan can't hide it though. He's with his past experience with Golf Ontario, you'd know the guy plays a little bit. But all right, well, we'll leave that aside. I'll trust you that you've never played before, and we'll just see how things go the more we get out. That's fine. What's a Black Bear's nice spot though? I like that you talk about spots in town. Like that's one of them.
Exactly. No, I have a few friends from school that also are in the area, and I was mentioning them that I went golfing at Black Bear, and they were. Definitely let me know that we're getting taken care of with getting access to go to there every week, so that's awesome.
It's a perk for sure. How challenging has it kind of been to establish yourself and kind of hit the ground running at what is a pretty busy point in the off season for someone in your position?
For sure. No, it's been good. It's just, I guess the best word to say is busy right now. For one thing, right now my baby I'm still working on is just getting all the travel finalized for the year, so hotel accommodation, food's the next thing, just kind of getting a game plan for the year and what the guys like and what we want to do. But it's been really good so far with all the staff that we have in town right now, and I'll getting to know Belzy, Mitch Freeburn, our strength and conditioning coach, kind of getting to know everyone, the assistant coaches too, just talking to them. They're not in town right now, but just via text and phone. It's been really great, really welcoming to establish those relationships early on here. I'm looking forward to once we're all in one place. I think that's most important, when we can all get a click and get in the groove here a little bit. So looking forward to that. And just been clicking away, getting everything done. So.
Yeah, our training camp is set to open October 1st. That's when we'll have that sigh of relief moment that everybody's here. The season's 2 weeks away, and we can really start to ramp up in the preparations. Is it difficult to book the travel? Like this is not driving from Peterborough to Ottawa or Oshawa. Like there are some pretty big trips and some multi-stop trips obviously involved as well.
For sure. No, I'm pretty fortunate this year. A lot of it's been kind of put in front of me and I just kind of have to tap it in, for lack of a better word. But just coordinating, make sure, like, I'm asking a lot of questions right now, just making sure the expectations of making sure my expectations are set up and we're on the same page here, especially with me being new to the team, just making sure that I'm not leaving anything kind of hanging. It's not terrible, for lack of a better word, though, overall. It's just a lot of over-communicating, I guess is the best word, so...
Yeah, you mentioned booking the hotels, booking the buses, booking the food is a big thing for these hockey players. I know you're meeting with Mitch Freeburn this morning. Is there anything that kind of surprised you in that? And kind of how do you feed 25, 28 guys after a game, before a game? How does that kind of come to be for people that aren't aware?
Yeah, I guess the key to it is there's a lot of food required. That's the easy one.
Is it shocking when you see like the amount that you actually have to order? Yeah. Maybe when you see it on the table, it will be, but yeah.
Exactly. No, talking with Mitch today, he kind of basically hammered home that point too, and just it's the importance of having it, and also kind of knowing the balance of when what kind of food the guys like pre and post game, kind of balancing what places to go for where on the road, kind of things like that. I'm very fortunate to have him. He has the experience from the past few seasons, so he can really guide me here, and he's going to walk through me with the first road trip or two here going forward. So I'm very fortunate to have him for that. I think people would be surprised by it though, but also not too, because at the end of the day, all these guys are just like me and you, and they're just guys who are hungry after after games too in some aspects. So the food's kind of the same in that regard. So.
Yeah, they're just like us. We are exactly on par with these elite athletes. We do have similar tastes, I will say that. The guys have good taste in their meals. How much are you looking forward to getting on the road and really, kind of getting thrown head first into the American Hockey League?
Yeah, no, I'm thrilled. I'm really, once they mentioned this position that I would be traveling, I was really excited, and I think that's also the biggest thing for me when getting to know guys is road trips, kind of when you do figure out each other and kind of have I guess more bonding and more relationships are built just being on the road and spending all that time together. Really looking forward to it. Up in September we're going up to rookie camp coming up here too, so I'll be going up for that. And then October's going to come before we even know it. So
yeah, it's not far away. Lastly, I suppose, how much are you looking forward to? Because you, like a handful of the other employees in the office, have never seen a Belleville Sens game. How much are you looking forward to? As much as we're looking forward to October 14th in Hershey, October 21st in what is sure to be a packed CAA arena for our home opener.
Exactly. No, I can't wait. Can't wait to see the first home game here for myself. I've been to a bunch of AHL games in Toronto before, but really excited to finally see one here and see the guys, and hopefully it's a packed barn here. So
yeah, it should be. Again, if you're interested in tickets, tickets at BellevilleSens.com is the best way to go about it right now, with more info on single game tickets coming. And Dan Ciparis, our guest on Get to Know Your FO this week. Welcome to the club, and thanks for doing this, man. Happy to have you.
Awesome, guys. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
All right, we'll be right back on the Belleville Sens podcast as we wrap up episode number 24. Stick around.
The Belleville Senators have launched the new Business Elite program for the 2023-24 season. This program is a season seat membership program for businesses, providing promotional value while allowing them to get the best value on tickets to all Senators home games, and to give more opportunities for their employees and customers to experience American Hockey League action firsthand. To learn more and register your business today, visit their website at BellevilleSens.com or email them at tickets@BellevilleSens.com.
Back on the Belleville Sens podcast, episode number 24. David Foote, Joel Vanderlaan here. Thanks to Dan Ciparis for his time. We got to talk to Dan now while he's around and within shouting distance of us in the office, because once October hits, we talk about forget October. Once September hits, we talk about how busy we're going to be. Obviously, as you heard, Dan is going to be a very busy man, but he seems like he's up to the task.
Yeah, and I think he's another, like we've mentioned, another great addition to the staff, both hockey operations and the front office staff. So really well spoken, really nice gentleman, and I think he's going to do excellent in his role. And like he's mentioned, he's got previous experience in doing this type of role, and you can see why he was hired. And I'm looking forward to it. I think it's, like we've mentioned, another helping hand to help things run smoothly. And at the end of the day, we're all rowing and going in the same direction. And I think this is just another an example of what we're trying to accomplish here, and really hit the ground running in September, October here. So
Ben Dempsey, the new business services coordinator, business operations coordinator, I think will be his. You know what? He'll tell us next week because he'll be here on the final episode, final edition, I guess, of the first round of Get to Know Your FO. He might be the first one that's got to do it in his first week.
Yeah, he's going to have to really hit the ground running here, as time seems to be ticking by as we get to the season. So,
well, and I know one of his responsibilities will surround the merchandise that the team puts out, and hint, hint, there's some new stuff coming, and it's pretty sweet, so he's going to have to deal with all of that. But that's coming up on next week's show. Another thing that's happening next week, want to let you know about, if you are at home with the kids, maybe a young hockey fan, we are launching Belly's Book Club this coming Monday, and that is Tuesday. This coming Tuesday, August 15th. And that will be held at an event at the Belleville Public Library downtown. You can head to the Belleville Public Library website to register, as they are asking people to pre-register to take part in this event. Head coach Dave Bell's going to be there reading some stories and talking about the importance of education. And Belly's going to be there, and you'll get all the details on the brand new Belly's Book Club, which is just another one of the outstanding community initiatives that we're starting here with the Belleville Senators. The school club, school visits rather, will be back as well. All kinds of stuff coming up. But that's happening Tuesday. Again, Belleville Public Library's website is where you can register for that. Also, Consicon Day on Saturday. That's where Belly's community crew will be with Braden DeVries, and I assume Garrett Harvey will be wandering around there as well. So if you want to see Belly, head down to Consicon on Saturday all day long.
Yeah, sounds like a great time. And like you mentioned, the Belly's Book Club, just another great add-on to what we've already been doing throughout the season with the school visits, and continuing to go out in the community and help spread the awareness and the importance of education. And as we know, that's vital, and that's something that the organization has put a lot of attention into. We'll
get you the specifics on the book club after the launch next week. Can't spoil anything just yet, but next week we'll have all the details for you on Belly's Book Club. So why not subscribe to the show, turn the notifications on so you'll know when the next episode drops, and leave us a rating and a review. We always appreciate that, especially if you like this week's episode with Jacob Larsson and Dan Ciparis, because I certainly did.
Yeah, it's great, and looking forward to next week and continuing to tick down the days till hockey's back, and I know that's what a lot of fans are doing as well.
Don't have a player lined up yet for next week. If there's anyone you'd like to hear from, why not maybe tweet at us at Belleville Sens. Let us know who you'd like to hear next week. Maybe use the hashtag BSensPodcast, and we'll see if we can get a fan request on the show next week. Again, you'll have to hit that subscribe button so you make sure you find out who is on next week. One more thank you to Jacob Larsson, and a congratulations as well on the wedding. Thanks to Dan Ciparis, and of course Joel Vanderlaan, and of course you for listening. We'll talk to you next week on episode 25 of the Belleville Sens podcast.